Okay, boys and girls, Alex back again. This time I've got the pieces for the clock assembly. Now, I don't know whether I'll append this to the other video because that might just make it far too bloody long. And somebody might just be interested in how the clocks are put together. Other people couldn't give a stuff on how the clocks are put together. Anyway, when you buy the clock assembly, these are the parts you get. These are the parts you need, rephrase it, because the hands come separate. You get these little bits of hardware with the clock assembly, and naturally, as they always say, battery not supplied. You need your battery yourself. Okay, now the hands have to be bought separate only because there's so many different styles of hands, and you decide how the hell you want to put it together or what type of hand you want. I've chosen these ones only because they didn't have any other bloody hands available at the time that I wanted to buy them. Okay, to put it together, you get this rubber ring that you slap on the clock assembly. Then you put these aside, otherwise if you flip the clock face over, you're going to lose them all. Oh, by the way, you get these two little doovies that sit around the second mechanism. Now, this round dome you use if you don't want a second hand, you don't want to watch your life ticking past so fast, you'd rather just look at it a minute by minute. How if you want to see your life ticking past by the second, you don't put the dome on, you put the second hand on and you lock it down with that. Okay. I'll move those aside. Let's just hope I don't drop things because I don't want to spend the next 3 hours videoing me trying to find it. What I've also done is I've made up this hanger. It's more so to give clearance because of the height of this, although this was just my first cut. On the other one I've actually had another layer of MDF. The way it's done is they're 8mm holes. The middle one is a 12mm hole offset, so you can then put a screw head in there and lift it up so it's got something for the screw head to hang on to. But anyway, that's just by the way. So what you finish up doing is you put that through there with the rubber washer, right? Flip it over and then you thread that through your picture frame. Now, what the hell did I do wrong? Because, there you are, it just goes to show I haven't even tried this before because it was such a tight fit. Then goes on this brass washer, and then you put on this screw. Now, I've got to go off and try and find a spanner, not a spanner, a shifter to do this. No, I won't pause it, bugger it, I'll just finger tighten it because I've got to take it off anyway. So there you have that on there. Then you put on your hour hand. First of all, you just slip it on, look, nothing major. That slips down there. The minute hand, there's, as you can see here, or depending on which is a better view. Hang on, let's see, what can you see? Yeah, it's sort of like it's not a perfect circle, and it fits over the profile. Good God, I'm scratching the shit out. Fits over the profile of the clock mechanism. Now, this is where you would either use this brass screw to hold that down, or you use this if you want to use the second hand. Now, this is where my bloody fat fingers have a lot of trouble. I can either get it straight away or you'll watch me struggle for the next half an hour. Looks like we're struggling. Oh no, yeah. No, just fiddly. It's difficult, it's just that I got fat fingers. And look, what I'll do is I'll stop the video. Geez, oh no, shit, I've done it. Yeah, is sort of screw that down, and then you'd probably put a not a spanner, a set of pliers on there to tighten that down, but doesn't really matter. Now, then what I usually do is make sure you line this up to 12 o'clock. Now I've put in a cross at the back here to tell me where 12 o'clock is. And then you bring these hands up to 12 o'clock. It often doesn't, it's not recommended you do that because, well, I don't know. Nobody says you can or you can't. So what I'll do is put that second hand, it just fits into a little spindle in the middle there. Then what you've got to do is make sure they don't cross each other. You know, you might have to do a bit of lifting and prodding and pushing because they're quite flimsy actually, these things. So, oops, as you can see. Oh, now I've done it. As I said, they are quite flimsy. You don't want them to... Let's lift this up just a little bit more. That's it. Have I got sufficient clearance? No, sort of. Let's get the second hand. Oh look, this is a little bit fiddly. I could have done this first hand, but everything's straight out of the pack, so who knows. Yeah. Oh, that's a bit too high. It's a bit too low. This is where you've got to be careful. If you start pulling it up too many times, you'll finish up snapping the bloody thing. Okay, that seems to have sufficient clearances. Now all I need to do is go and get a battery. Hang on. Okay, boys and girls, back with the battery. Well, the second battery. The first time I bought down a AA battery, and it wasn't, well, naturally the right size, and it was easier to get a AA battery than to shrink the clock down. So there you are. You see the magical insertion. Here we go, tight fit, beautiful. Flip it over, look at that. Holy shit, where is it? Can we see? No, you can't. Hang on, let's zoom it out. And there you are, you can see the clock ticking over. Voila. Anyway, that's it. That's the basis of it. The back of it. Hook it up with that. Put whatever frame around it you want, or if you like, you don't need to put a frame around it. For all it's worth, all it's meant to do is tell the time. So, and it'll do just as good a time as any other under $20 clock you'll get, and some of them are, well, some of these are better mechanisms, because I believe the mechanism I use in here is $17 as opposed to some that you can buy for $5. So there you have it. Catch you later, boys and girls.